I've got something kind of cool for you today. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm an Elgato partner, and I've also worked with Corsair on a couple of things. And Corsair hooked me up with their brand new Galleon 100 SD keyboard. But it's not just a keyboard, it is a keyboard and a Stream Deck in one. Now, I've done a full video over on my tech channel talking about how great the keyboard is in terms of specs and using it on a day-to-day basis. In Minecraft, you could hide the HUD, take a screenshot, and then bring the HUD back with one tap of a button. And things like that I want to demonstrate for you right now. Okay, so starting off with Expedition 33, we have a couple of very basic functions, like being able to tap SK to bring SK up, and then little things like this. It's just standard hotkeys. But the really cool thing is, with these pre-configured profiles, is that all the commands are set up for you and you don't have to worry about the icons, which is going to be different to what I'm going to showcase in a minute with Minecraft and with Cyberpunk. You have your standard hotkey commands like bringing up the status, like so, being able to enter your camp, enter your map, and that's all great. It makes the game a little bit easier so you don't have to constantly remember all the keybinds. But where this profile really shines for Expedition 33 is in the combat. So let me bring up SKA and then we can go and jump into combat, and I'll show you why this is just so damn cool. So normally you would have a couple of different options when it comes to combat. You can go ahead and press F, and then what that's going to do is it's going to let you select an enemy, and you can change between them, and that's fine, right? Or you can go and do skills, but that means you have to press E, you find your skill, and then you press Q to choose Blitz, and then you choose the enemy, and then you press F, and that whole thing can get tedious when you do it a couple thousand times. Here's what the profile actually does. It comes pre-configured with actions that automate the entire process for you. So all you have to do is tap one single button, it will choose the attack for you, which it shows on the key, and then just like that, it does the whole process. And again, let's try it with this one. It selects the attack. Oh, look at that. How freaking cool. It's automatically going to select the tint, and that means we can go ahead and parry some of these. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, easy. Oh, now he's going to try and get me. Hey, look, I actually dodged something. Are you proud of me? We can just go ahead and do a normal attack if we want to. It gives us a little bit of a window so we can change targets if that's something we wanted to do. But again, like, how responsive is this? Being able to dodge all the attacks and not have to move our hand away from this little sort of command deck that we have here. Let's go ahead and do this one. Now that's going to miss because the enemy isn't affected by it. The one thing that I would really like to see is combining this with something like the Super Macro plugin by Bar Raider, and what that does is it lets you control your mouse and different actions. So we can actually do this, come over here, and assign that to a multi-action or something like that here using the Super Macro plugin. And bear in mind, we have a bunch of different characters that we can choose from. We have Mael, of course, and all the icons are customized. We have Monaco, like picture this for pretty much any game you can think of, like Star Citizen, Starfield, Skyrim, Fallout. In games that don't have native plugins and profiles that you can just very quickly install to the keyboard, you can set up your own. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and set up some hotkeys. In Minecraft, it's pretty simple, pressing 1, 2, 3, etc. But in other games, it can be a little bit more complex. An example of how this would work in Minecraft is very basic functionality, like being able to add a hotkey. And then you can go ahead and drag that over here. And let's say we want to jump straight to item number 1 in your inventory, which for me is normally a bow or a sword. We can go ahead and set the hotkey to 1 like so. Set this one to number 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Then if you wanted to, you can go ahead and grab an icon pack like these here, and you can label each of the keys. While that's downloading, let's go ahead and set up some audio controls, because I often find myself in a position where I want to change volume and things like that. And now that we actually have these dials, we can actually combine the Galleon 100 SD with something like Wavelink, which helps us manage all of our audio levels. So we can go ahead and grab this, which is our mix level, and we're going to put this down here. And now anytime I want to control my game volume, I can just do so like this. We also just got the official Spotify plugin, so we can actually go ahead and drag that one over as well. You'll be able to see that we have our MIDI controls for Spotify integrated here as well, so we can go ahead and start playing the music. We now have all of our MIDI controls integrated in here as well, which is great. Now let's go ahead and change these icons. If we go to number 1, for instance, and then we can tap U, go down here, and then we can tap the plus button, and then up here we'll be able to see our icon library, and the new Minecraft pack will be right here. Once we open it up, you'll be able to find pretty much everything. And you can either scroll through here and try to find a thing that you want. For me, I like putting a bow on slot number 1, go back to number 2, and we can just actually search for whatever we want. So let's say we've got a diamond sword, stick you on here, Number 3 is normally a pickaxe for me. And then we're just going to go ahead and do the entire profile. Nice. Now, something else we can do is we can actually go in here and grab a hotkey like so, put it down here. And then little things like changing perspective, F5, for instance, I never remember what these are. So we could actually just label them and say perspective. Change the font size slightly and then put it at the top. And we'll find a little icon that would represent that. So something like this. And then what we could do as well is grab one of these action wheels and put it at the very top. Now what this does is let you scroll to be able to control different functions. So for instance, we could go ahead and add the virtual Stream Deck so we get an overlay of things we can click on. Let's also add some hotkeys to bring up the crafting menu, for instance. We're going to assign this to E like so and call this one crafting. And we're actually going to change the icon as well. Cool. So now we know what that one does. And let's actually add another one so we can bring up the menu. So again, for this, we're going to go escape, call that one menu. And I'm going to do something a little bit more intricate. I'm actually going to be adding a multi-action. So if we grab this, put it down here, we can combine different features. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the hotkey action, drop it in here, and then we're going to go F1. This will hide the HUD. We can then add a very slight delay, which I think 1000 milliseconds should be fine. Then we can go back up to the search bar, grab another hotkey, drag that one over, and then we're going to assign this one to print screen. One other thing I just added was the ability to be able to then press F1 again, which will show the HUD. So essentially it takes a screenshot for us while also hiding the HUD, so we don't have to do like 3 different commands all at once. So I know that I haven't got the exact items and stuff that are on my toolbar, but if we press the button, you get the idea. We can just scroll through all of these like so, which is pretty nice. We have like a visual indicator, which for me is a lot more appealing than like tapping these. Nice. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's try and take a screenshot, do the multi-action, see what happens here. So it's going to hide it, take a screenshot like so, and then bring it back. Beautiful. That's great. Exactly as intended. And then of course we can open up the crafting menu. Like so. Nice. That's really nice. I really like that interaction. And we can pause the game if we want to. Yes, I am playing on Bedrock because this is my little Minecraft world with my kids, as you can tell from the beautiful house that they've put together. Cool. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's try something else though. What about Cyberpunk? Now, at the time of making this video, there doesn't seem to be any official icons for Cyberpunk 2077 outside of this guy right here, which is a really cool profile that comes with everything bundled in. So profiles are the actions and the icons normally together. So you don't have to go in and customize everything. It's all done for you. For me personally, I just want the icons. But again, there's nothing available on the store right now for Cyberpunk. But this is more for controlling your PC and media and things like that. However, we can actually go and make our own icons because I made my own tool, which is completely free to use. If you go to HeroVibes.store, where you can grab editing presets and things like that, there's a bunch of free tools for content creators and gamers like yourself. You can go over to tools and then go down to Stream Deck Icon Maker. Now, I've already added icons for software that people use on a regular basis like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and Lightroom. But if we're doing something inspired by Cyberpunk, you may want to customize your own stuff and build your own pack. Just as an example of how this works, we can go ahead and download a basic icon of Cyberpunk 2077. We can then upload that icon to our tool like so. We can customize a couple of different elements. We can even use the color picker like so and select the exact color of yellow, and it will match the outline. And if you don't want the outline, you can just turn that one off. Then you're going to come over here and you can change the resolution. So you can bump it all the way up to 500 pixels. And the cool thing about the Galleon 100 SD is that these are new panels, these new LCD displays. So all your icons are going to look a lot more vibrant than they do on the standard Stream Deck. You can also add your own textures. So we could go up here and let's do something like this, for instance, and even add in a little bit of a gradient. Now I feel like that's very yellow, but let's run with it and see what it looks like. Now, if you want to launch any game on Steam from your Stream Deck or your Galleon 100 SD in this instance, you can go to Plugins, search for Advanced Launcher. Oh, first one that pops up, Advanced Launcher by Raider, install it. And then the application itself has a Steam game launcher, which you can just drag over here, grab Cyberpunk 2077. To upload our own, we're going to go down here and tap this little arrow and then go to Set from File. And then right here in the Downloads folder is the custom icon that we made that, in my opinion, looks a little bit better. And again, like the entire thing here is going to be customized to your own personal taste. Okay, so now that we're in Cyberpunk 2077, we need to figure out what all the hotkeys are. So So much like Minecraft, you can add single hotkeys or multi-actions, whichever you're more comfortable with. A really simple and easy way of actually finding what those hotkeys are is to go into the settings menu, go over to key bindings, and then from here, you'll be able to see absolutely everything, including some of the more advanced controls. I want to start with the dials, the ability to be able to switch the weapons, because I think that's going to be a really cool feature. So again, let's go over here and we can choose action wheel, drop that on there. And now inside of here, we can add the custom controls. So let's go hotkey number 1, grab another one, hotkey number 2, grab another one, hotkey number 3. Now we'll need to assign custom icons to each of these. Now I like to use a site called SVG Repo because I feel like they just have free icons, none of the BS that you normally get with like trying to find transparent images online. Let's just type in katana, for instance, and see what comes up. Nice. Okay, yeah. Something like this will do perfectly fine. Let's download you. We're going to upload that custom icon like so. Something like that will work great. Throw that one in there as well. And I don't even have one in game, but let's go ahead and grab a minigun. All right, so we got all 3 selected. Let's go ahead and download them. Resolution is set to 500. We can go in here, tap our little magic button once again, set from file, and let's make sure we got the katana set to 1, pistol set to 2, and the minigun set to 3. Beautiful. What if we do something new? What if we go up to the dials and we go ahead and grab an action trigger, put that up top, and we assign the same hotkeys here. And I'll show you why this one is going to be so good, because with this, you have to scroll and then you have to press in to select the weapon, right? Whereas this, if you just tap just one time, it automatically does the thing. So let's do this and we'll go camera, add another hotkey. The phone, again, we're going to be adding custom icons to everything here. Over the middle one, I'm thinking we actually go ahead and add I, which is going to be our inventory. Now I'm going to flesh out all the hotkeys and explain afterwards what they all do, just for the sake of saving you time. Okay, so I've got pretty much everything set up and ready to go. I just want to give you a bit of a demo as to what I've actually done. So we got some basic hotkeys like saving, loading, opening the map, radio, journal, which all ties in very nicely with the simple controls, but also I've added a little bit more complexity than we've done with things like Minecraft. Now this is a plugin called Super Macro. If you go to plugin, type in Super Macro like so. This is the one you're going to want to go ahead and download if you want to follow these steps. Now, this one's a little bit more advanced. If I just move this up like so, you'll be able to see that this is what is actually happening. Now, these are commands, and you can tap this little button right here to learn more about how to actually make your own. But essentially, in Cyberpunk, if you want to call the car, you have to hold the button down for like 2 seconds. Now, I don't want to sit here and like physically hold the thing down. What's going to happen is it's going to push down the button V, which is used to call your car. Then it's going to wait 1 second and then it's going to lift the key up. So essentially it completely bypasses the need for you to actually hold the thing down anymore. What I've done here is press tab. It presses the key down, waits a second, presses F, which activates a quick hack. And I'll show you all this in action. Then it releases both the keys F and tab at the same time. What this means is that essentially you tap this one button on the Galleon 100 SD and whatever you're looking at will automatically be hacked. You don't have to go and do tab and F and all this kind of stuff. It's just a one button press to give you a little bit more accessibility. And then we have a very basic grenade button, because with Super Macro, again, you can add custom commands to be able to trigger your mouse buttons, which again opens up a whole world of possibilities there. But in this instance, it presses the middle mouse button, which is the default for the grenade. Okay, so now that we have all of our icons set up on the Galleon 100 SD, the great thing about this is we can use the dials, like I said, to switch to different weapons, but I've only got one in the game at the moment. So you're just going to have to believe me on that. All you would do is just go ahead and say, oh yeah, I want to use the minigun now. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to use the katana. And like so, you'll be able to switch to different weapons, which I think is pretty great. We have some basic functions up here. So we can go ahead and open the inventory. We can open up photo mode like so. So we can go ahead and start taking a couple of pictures in the game. Now we got a couple of core features. These are just the basic ones, such as opening up your map in the game. We got our journals. We can go ahead and open that like so. We got this guy right here, so we can go ahead and consume medkits and food and things like that. And then we can go ahead and throw a couple of grenades. This one again is using the Super Macro function. So you're pressing your mouse button with the Galleon 100 SD using Super Macro, which I think is pretty great. What you'll notice if you look at the bottom left hand side of the screen is if I just tap V on my keyboard, which I know you guys can't see, but nothing is actually happening because you need to hold the button down. So if we go over here and we tap this one button, it'll automatically register it as us holding V and calling the car. There's little quality of life changes like that make things easier. Now, the one thing I don't like about this sort of thing where we open up the journal is the fact that we have to press escape to exit twice. So one thing I've done, and I haven't set it all up properly, but if we tap this, it'll open the journal, and this is a multi-action switch. So once we tap it once, it then moves on to a different function. If we tap it again now, it'll press escape twice, it'll bring us back to the game. Let me show you the quick save functionality real quick. So if we go over here, see this little guy. Normally what you'd have to do is you'd have to hold tab and then you'd press F and then it would hack it. And that's not too bad, you know, but it's just kind of tedious doing that every single time. I really love the idea of being able to look at something like this guy right here and just being able to tap a single button and it'll hack everything for you. So what that does is it holds tab for a second, then it presses F, which activates the execute option, and then it releases tab and F at the same time. Then the only other thing that's probably worth showing at this point is the fact that you can drop a quick save like so. You screwed up and you want to go back to your previous area, tap the load button, and then all of a sudden it's going to take you back to that exact point in the game where you were just at. So little things like this, again, just having that visual indicator makes life a lot easier. If you like the look of the keyboard and you think that you would be somebody who would actually use some of this functionality, I'll put an affiliate link down below. It helps support everything we do on the channel, and it will show Corsair that I'm doing a good job. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to wrap this one up here. It has been a fun little video to make. Normally I keep this kind of stuff just for my tech channel, but I feel like games like Star Citizen, Starfield, No Man's Sky, all these games that have intricate controls and a bunch of hotkeys that you have to remember, and being able to create your own multi-actions to streamline a process that, again, is normally quite tedious. You can also use this for games like RuneScape, League of Legends, etc. But again, if there's any other games that you want me to make a video on showcasing what this thing is capable of, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. But I'm going to wrap this up here. If you want to learn more about the keyboard, head over to my tech channel and I've got a full review over there. I love your faces. Thank you for watching today's video. You're amazing and beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next one.